What if? Tiny little question. God posed this question to me yesterday, and I thought, ooh, I want to share this. So I thought about taking notes and turning it into a big video, and I'm so glad that's not what God's asking me to do. I can just share it right here, right now, like this. In the past 36 hours, maybe 48, 2 people have run into me. I've run into them. We've had an encounter out in public. Once at the dollar store, once at church last night. It was literally like in the last, they might have both happened yesterday, but I don't know. These days are so full. I feel like it's been 3 weeks since Tuesday. A lady that I have not seen in 2 years saw me at the dollar store, and she was like, "What? Whoa, Emily, oh my gosh." And she said, "You look like a little teenager." I said, "Thank you for that. I appreciate that." And this is such a pleasant surprise for me because you all know I'm down 100, but up a little. So in my mind, I'm up. I feel up. Down 100, but up a little. But she's not noticing the little. She's noticing the down a lot. Which is nice, and it's a good it's nice, and it's a good reminder that I'm far from where I was a couple years ago. In every which way, physically, mentally, spiritually. Last night at church, I dropped my kids off at our church. They've been going to another church on Wednesday nights to see some of their friends from school, but they went to our church last night because it's Christmas time and they are in the choir, and so they go on Wednesday nights to practice these adorable songs. When I went to pick them up, a girl that, when I was the youth minister, she used to help me a lot. She taught the high school kids, the high school girls. Anyways, I worked closely with this girl for a long time. I haven't seen her, and I didn't realize years have gone by since I've actually laid eyes on some people. So I walked in the door, and these teenage boys that used to be in my youth group, oh my gosh, they started like running to me and hugging me, and it was cracking me up, and I loved it, but I'm like, don't break a rib. They like hug me, and I literally brace myself for them to, because they're so over the top. These kids, them and their siblings were also used to be in my class. They're funny and fun, but they scare me. I'm afraid they're going to hurt me. But it was good to hug them. I'm just scared of my ribs getting broken. That's all. So I'm like making my way into the building and getting attacked by these kids. They're all part of one family. You know what? I'll dig into my phone. I'll do this. I'll dig into my phone. I'm committing right now, which means I'm going to have to edit this and use data. I'll do it. I'll show you a picture of these kids. In fact, I'll show you them right here. This was in September. Okay, so those are the kids I was hugging on my way into church last night, and this girl that used to help me out with the youth ministry, she was like, "Oh, Emily, you look amazing." And again, in my mind, I'm like, I do? I'm feeling up, right? Perspective here, people. She had a very different perspective than I did because she's not noticing the up, she's noticing the down. So it was very, very nice to hear. And I said, "Oh, thank you for saying that." She said, "What are you doing?" And we just kind of cracked up, and I told her bits and pieces, and we were talking fast and furiously because she was about to go hop on the bus with all these kids that you just saw to take them home. So I started thinking last night, and God started giving me this realization that I have a video called "A Word About Fear." I'll link that below because that is all tied into this. I've said before, we become what we believe we are. Let's believe we're headed in the right direction. Because we are. Together. If you know Christ, you're headed towards heaven, period. Mic drop, that's it. The rest is details. The rest is navigating this human experience. Am I right? And sometimes I love, I'm going to find it. There's a graphic where it says success, what people think it looks like, right, straight line, and what it actually looks like. I'm going to find that. I'll show it to you right now. I'll go find it now and I'll show it to you here. So this earthly journey, it might, but we want to make sure if we're doing this, we want to make sure that's God leading us. And he will. I do believe he leads us like to learn something and to learn something over here. But there's times he might want us to go and just go straight. We got to follow him through that too, and not out of habit go, but wait, God, can't we, this seems too, a lady said yesterday, how's your house coming along? I said, it's coming along great. She said, that must be stressful, all that going on. I said, you know what? It's so crazy. It's comforting. It's kind of like my normal. She said, you're not going to know what to do when it's all said and done. I thought, that is so true. When I have a home that's complete and kids that are a lot bigger, she said, you're going to go around and like make messes or like knock things over or I'll just walk in with my groceries and just unscrew the milk and just pour it on my floor. Because that's what I know. It might feel a little calm, a little quiet. I don't know. Sometimes we get used to the craziness and then we create it if we'll zoom out a little and analyze our own behaviors, be a little objective with ourselves. Sometimes we cause the craziness because it's what we know. It's our comfort zone. So last night after these two experiences, both of those women commenting on my shocking weight loss, and I was like, thank you for reminding me I'm down a lot from when we last saw each other. And I'm thinking right now about one of the teenage boys said, you've really lost a lot. He said, you used to be, and I just looked at him like, what, Daytona? What? I used to be what, Daytona? Finish that sentence, young man. He said, oh, you used to be. And it was hilarious watching him squirm. If I had that on video, I would show that here, but I don't. He said, you used to be, I don't want to say like really big, but I don't want to say like small. So I walked yourself right into that one, didn't you, Daytona? And he finally said, you were medium. I've been called worse than medium. So anyways, after those two experiences, I went home and I was realizing that it's very important that I realize I'm right where I'm supposed to be. Right where I'm supposed to be. If I weren't right here at this body weight, in this vehicle, in this road, I would not be having this conversation. We are right where we're supposed to be on our journeys. I believe that. And it's very important that I love where I am and that I love this body that I'm in. Because if I allow the enemy to tempt me into hating it, or hating part of it, or hating where I am, that is going to have a very negative effect on how I operate. I was going to say how I move forward. It'll have such a negative effect, it could potentially, that I don't know that I would move forward. The enemy would love to grab a hold of my perspective and have me turn. And I was telling my husband this morning that it's very important that I'm comfortable in my jeans, literally in my jeans and in my hoodies, because I can either be self-conscious or God-conscious. And if I'm walking around self-conscious and I'm around people and I'm so concerned about how tight these jeans are, or how I'm stretching my hoodie out, or And I'm thinking things like, can they tell I've gained? If I am self-conscious, then I'm not able to be God conscious. And the truth is, lives are at stake, souls are at stake, and whether or not I feel comfortable in my body and good about where I am, all this has a direct effect on my ability to share Christ. Because if I am totally focused and thinking and obsessed and self-conscious, then I cannot effectively share Him. So I want to be at peace with where I am. And I was laughing with Greg this morning. I said, so if I want to be God conscious instead of self-conscious, then I've either got to follow God's lead and pray He'll help me get a few pounds off, or embrace these tight jeans. And the truth is, I can do both. I can do both. I can allow God to lead me, and I trust He's leading me where He wants me to go. I trust that, absolutely. And I trust His timing too. I've said before, if I was at my goal weight 25 years ago, we would not know each other. I trust that I'm right where I'm supposed to be on my journey, and I can embrace some discomfort. And I can at least stay awake and aware that if I'm self-conscious, then I'm not being God conscious. They're mutually exclusive. So what if? God asked me this tiny question last night. Emily, what if you're right where you're supposed to be? Just ponder that for a moment. What if you're right where you're supposed to be? And then He said, what if you loved your body exactly as it is? What if you're right where you're supposed to be? And what if you loved your body just like it is right now? And then today He said, and what if neither of those were hypothetical? What if those were reality? And they are. They are. I love where I am, and I absolutely love this body I'm in. And I'm taking a deep breath right now because I am claiming that. Because the enemy is working hard to have me almost with noble intentions to think, no, God would not have me in this body. He would have me be fit as a fiddle like a gazelle. So no, I hate this extra fat and I hate that. Nope. That is the enemy. I believe that, wanting to tempt me. Like my sponsor once said, he can tempt us off our path or into sin. The enemy would love to tempt me, tempt my eyes off Jesus. And like I said in one of my sermons, he'd love for us to be way out there. The enemy, Satan, would love for us to be like way off in left field, way off in right field, just way off, right? But he'll settle for slightly off. Satan will settle for us getting just slightly off. Because if God, I say the Bible is the bullseye. If God is the bullseye, and that's where we want our focus, laser focused on him, anything else is missing the mark. Anything else is off. So the enemy lately would love to tempt me from keeping my eyes fixed on Jesus and allowing him to lead me. He'd also love to tempt me into sin. And just like I said in one of my sermons, if God tells us explicitly not to do something, would you agree with me that it's a sin? Worrying is a sin. That's all. I love you all dearly. What if we were at peace with exactly where we are in every bit of discomfort and pain and suffering that we're currently experiencing, because I promise you, pain and suffering is going to be part of this entire human experience. I'm at peace with that. That's what I share at funerals. We think we want out of the pain and out of the work. As soon as we're out of pain and out of work, we're out of here. Let's make peace with exactly where we are. What if we were at peace with exactly where we are? Like precisely. It's 8:50 on December 2nd. This is where I am. And what if we loved our bodies exactly the way they are? Right now, in this moment. And what if we moved forward with God from that place of love and grace and gratitude and humility and perspective, a perspective on what really matters. And like in the Woe Is She Reading 1 video, at the end you'll see a Dutch country little Mennonite grocery store I get my deli meat from. They had a whiteboard that says it's what's on the inside that matters. A refrigerator is a prime example that it's what's on the inside that really matters. We are not our bodies. They're changing and evolving. And we want to manage them as long as we're in them, which includes troubleshooting. I talk about this in my other video I put out today, something inspirational, something amazing in today's food focus. But what if we appreciated and loved that we're right where we appreciated and loved right where we are in these exact bodies that we're in. And what if that wasn't hypothetical? Let's do it. Let's love where we are. Let's love the bodies that we're in. And let's move forward from there. I love you dearly. I'm headed home to record Woe Is She Reading number 2. We'll talk again very soon. Bye.